I didn't see him.
Hey, you're right.
There's one being picked. Yeah, I don't know what.
She's gonna be on set, I think.
Good evening and welcome to the Middleton Common Council. Today is March 3rd and it is 7 o'clock. Call to order the regular council meeting, requesting assistance with roll call.
Yes, Alder Schaefer.
Here.
Alder Madden. Alder Nelson, virtual via Zoom.
Here.
Alder Kalish. Mayor Kuhn.
Here.
Alder Myers.
Present.
Alder Hanairo.
Here.
Alder Lorman.
Here.
Alder Crow.
Here.
And do we have any public comments? Okay, thanks so much.
I'm sorry, this is Katie. I have one from a constituent who would like me to read it into the record.
Please do so.
Okay, thank you. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna need a second.
Well, while you're settling in, can we share your good news? Can we? No. Can we share your good news?
Yes.
So as Katie, as you're getting to your location, we wanted to celebrate some good news. As so often we try to do that at the end, but that is a personal, a wonderful, warm thing. And thank you for being willing to share that, Alder Schaefer. Alder Nelson, are you settled in?
I am. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Thank you. An email I received this afternoon from a constituent from Christy Warner to my Alder Katie Nelson. I request that my letter be read into the record of the Common Council meeting on March 3rd, 2026. My name is Christy Warner. I was born and raised in the town of Middleton, graduated MHS, and have lived in the city of Middleton since 2003. In 1985, I was the receiving manager for Eagle Grocery Store. I was subjected to sexual harassment on a regular basis by a milk truck driver. I reported the abuse to my union. The driver was notified of the claim, and the result was that I remained on his route. The sexual harassment stopped, but the bullying began. In 1995, I was date raped after a night of drinking. At that time, it would have been nearly impossible to come forward with my claim against my rapist, given the circumstances and our proclivity back then to blame the victim. I hold the Me Too movement dear to my heart. I think that my experiences would have been much different in a post-Me Too world. I'm the mother of female children. We have fought hard and told our stories in difficult spaces like this one so that the world is safer for them than it was for me. That is why I'm shocked and appalled to learn that the city of Middleton has an apparatus of non-disclosure agreements that shield sexual predators within the city. I've learned of this through the sworn testimony of the mayor in her filing of a temporary restraining order against the ex-City of Middleton employee. The sworn testimony was made under penalty of false swearing, which in Wisconsin bears a Class A misdemeanor charge with penalties of up to 6 months prison time and a $10,000 fine. She testified under oath that, quote, other city employees had experienced sexual harassment, but signed NDAs and cannot discuss personnel matters. As an elected official, I can speak freely. Unquote. As a citizen, I demand to know how these NDAs are used. How many have been filed? Are there employees of the city of Middleton enjoying the comfort of being shielded from accountability by a system that allows perpetrators to be protected from disclosure? Why are women being treated as second-class citizens and harassment accepted and protected in the Good Neighbor City? Thank you for your time, Christy Warner.
Any other public comments? Moving on to the presentation and update by MCPASD Superintendent Dana Minogue.
Oh, come on up. Good evening. Always appreciate the opportunity to come before you and give you an update about the school district. And tonight I'm joined by our Board of Education President, Mr. Bob Hesselbein. I did put a handout on your spot before the meeting, so I'll be talking from that tonight. I'm happy to report, here it is March already, time flies. It's really been an excellent school year overall, and we're very pleased. We have so much to be grateful for and thankful for. Our enrollment is up. In fact, today I learned dozens of new families and children have enrolled in our school district in the past couple of weeks. So we're hopeful that all the new construction that is going up throughout our community is yielding school-aged children, certainly. Some things that we're celebrating are ACT Composite Place Tests. That's the test that all juniors take in the state of Wisconsin. Number 2 out of 421 districts in the state, we are second only to Whitefish Bay, and we are the most diverse school district in the top 20 with that metric. So we're really very, very proud of that. Also, the state gives districts and schools an annual report card. The highest rating on that report card is significantly exceeds expectations. And this year, our district received that designation for the first time ever. So another system-wide measure that says what we're doing in our schools, what our talented educators are doing every day with our students is really having a positive impact. Our kids continue to thrive in a variety of different pursuits. Our boys swim team just won their 4th consecutive state championship, and we honored them in the boardroom this past week. And we also had a state boys wrestling champ. Reed Falk won a state championship this past weekend, the first to do so since 2016. And the last person to win that state championship is actually our boys wrestling coach. So it was a really nice moment for them at the state tournament. Some things that we're focused on as a school district, with respect to teaching and learning, I've talked to you before about the significant effort in our school districts in the area of literacy. The state, through legislation, has mandated the kinds of materials and approaches our teachers can use to teach our children how to read, and that has meant a lot of new learning for all of our teachers, and we're already seeing some really nice progress there. We're also in the first year of a mathematics review. So we finished with literacy. We're now starting with mathematics. And so I predict some potential changes there that I'll be able to update you on probably the next time I come before you. By now, you've probably heard about a Cardinal's Journey. There's a graphic on the back of your handout. These are 8 competencies that we have identified that we're trying to instill in students as they move through our district. This is the first year of implementation, and I can't tell you how pleased we are with how not only our district is embracing a Cardinal's Journey, but our community is also embracing it. Every month, our Board of Education recognizes students who are really embodying each characteristic, and there are tears every time we bring kids forward, kindergarten all the way through high school seniors and juniors. It's been a really nice way to get this integrated into our community. Spending a lot of time doing community engagement. This Thursday we'll be at the Get Moving Middleton meeting. I'll have 6 high school students with me sharing how our business community can engage more deeply in the work that we're doing at the high school. If you've been to our stadium, you know we have a Hall of Fame for athletics there. We are working with our Education Foundation right now to create our Cardinal Legacy Gallery. And that is going to be an opportunity for us to highlight alumni who are excelling in a wide variety of fields and pursuits, healthcare, medicine, entertainment, etc. Our inaugural class will be inducted February of 2027. So more details to come with respect to that. And now Mr. Hesselbein is going to share a little bit about funding.
Yes, and I think it's really unfair. Dana got to talk about all the good things and the happy things, and I get to talk about the dismal side of economics. And it's good to be here to see my friends, and I think I know everyone here in the room practically. So it's nice to be here among friends to speak to this. When we talk about school finances, that's probably one of the greatest focuses, just like yourselves, that you have to worry about at every meeting and every year to try to make it happen. And we find ourselves in the same place. And our funding comes from a variety of sources, much from the community and much from the state. But the formula, we don't have enough time tonight to try to explain to you how the state funding formulas provide us with revenue so we can teach our students to maintain our facilities and keep the quality that we have today. But provided to say that we work very, very hard to do that. We get less money from the state every year. You may have heard about the $325 increase that was provided per student by the state this year. But I want to make out the point. The state didn't give us $325 more per student. It said you can tax locally $325 more from your community. So don't confuse that with state funding. So our taxes that we all pay on our property go up to the state. They do this confusing formula, and then we figure out to the student how much we're going to acquire for the year. So it takes an incredible amount of bookkeeping. And one of the things I'm happy to report is we are an unusual school district in the sense that we get an annual auditing. And normally school districts find certain things that have to be corrected in the paperwork to make sure all the money is being represented, explained, and allocated properly. And for 8 years in a row, we've had an absolutely clean audit. I'm not sure. 9 years. 9 years. See, God, how the time goes by. You know, another year, another clean audit. It's not an easy thing to accomplish, and it might sound boring unless you're an accountant, but that's really actually something to stand up here and be proud about. We've had an exciting year with the change of administration in Washington. We were very, very worried about federal funding, whether we were going to have that money. So we had to find ourselves doing things just like you do in the city. Contingency plans you hope you never have to do, which in our case would be doing triage of funding, like what are we not going to fund so we can cover programs that we think are vitally important that are federally funded. Fortunately, the money came through for this year. And something else that's near and dear, I know to you as well as us, is sustainability. Sustainability is a project that actually was student driven a few years ago, and it became a goal of ourselves, just like the city as well. And we have been moving forward on that. Our goal was zero carbon footprint by 2035, but we've had to be practical. And what we've done in our case is we've literally looked at every possible sustainability program and when does it pay for itself? And those programs that would pay for themselves in a reasonable amount of time and then actually reduce our costs in the long run, we went with that enthusiastically. And some of the projects we've actually had to hold off because we are careful custodians of the taxpayers' dollars. So I don't get to say all the great stuff going on at the schools, but the great thing for the taxpayers are we're doing a fine job with the revenues that are provided us for this teaching we do. And I'll turn it back to Dana.
Great. With that, we welcome any comments or questions you all might have. There's Shane.
The little cartoon on the paper of the weekend showing how the state budget allocates to schools, and it showed Einstein looking at it. He said, I give up.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I just want to thank you for the support for the sustainability. I'm the representative in sustainability committee. I know the students have been very active and very engaged. And we feel really good about it because that's the level it has to happen. And obviously you're offering enough support that keeps us going. So please keep doing it. I think it is.
Well, thank you. Great. Alder Myers?
Yeah, first, thank you for coming and for a very informative presentation. Congratulations on the 9 years of clean audits. When you mind the pennies, the dollars tend to take care of themselves. And your commitment to good financial processes is a benefit to all of us here in the community. So thank you for that. I had a general question about how we can better work together as two governmental agencies for the purpose of student safety during their commute to school. This is something that has come up repeatedly on the Public Works Commission committee, both when I shared it with Alder Hanairo and Alder Lorman, and now with Alder Madden. And it's something that I know the city is working very proactively to address under our new Public Works Director, Ben John. But if there are ways that we can work more collaboratively together, I want us to explore them, because I've seen some traffic safety data lately near Northside Elementary School. But also I've talked to my constituents and other constituents about it, and it keeps coming up. So
Yeah, the Middleton schools are busy places at drop off and pickup times. And so we would love to collaborate more on behalf of the safety of our students, our faculty, and our families.
great. If you wouldn't mind having a coffee sometime, I'd
Anytime. Yeah,
Great, thank
that'd
you.
be great. Sure.
Alder Hanairo.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for leading the way on sustainability. As you know, we have a climate action roadmap in the budget for this year, and it's inspired by the work that you've
Oh,
done.
I'm glad. Great.
I'm curious to know, what is the status? I recall back when I was on sustainability committee, which was a few years ago, composting was something that the green team and students were very interested in doing at MHS. So can you tell me, is there any progress on that?
I'd probably have to get back to you. I do know there are small composting projects happening in several of our schools. We actually have also a sustainability committee that is comprised of faculty, community members, and students.
Okay.
And I can check in with them and also report back to you. I don't know that we have a systemic approach, but I do know we have some small composting happening in some of our schools.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for coming. And next is the presentation and summary of the Energy Efficiency Navigator Program by Kelly Hilliard, Sustainability Coordinator.
Hello, thanks for having me. I'm Kelly Hilliard, the Sustainability Coordinator for the City of Middleton. And my presentation, I believe, starts on page 5. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to summarize a report included in your packet about the city's work to retrofit existing naturally occurring affordable housing, or what we call NOAA housing, in the city to increase energy efficiency, reduce carbon emissions, and reduce utility bills for tenants over the past 3 years that we've been working on this. This report was prepared by our partners Sustain Dane and Elevate Energy, with input from Way Forward Resources and the Senior Center, and also the property owners who took part in these programs. Carbon emissions in Wisconsin is still primarily from buildings because of our heating with fossil fuels and the amount of energy that buildings use. We have community energy goals to reach 100% renewable energy by 2050, which is a tall order, and one reason we wanted to start working in the community on buildings, and we wanted to start with the people who are most affected by energy burden. There's 2 projects profiled in this 10-page report. One is the Efficiency Navigator Project, which completed work in 32 units, which means 32 families of unsubsidized affordable housing. And it was 100% funded with COVID relief federal ARPA funds, plus a public health grant that we received from Healthy Babies, Bright Futures, that helped to improve health and safety within all of these units. The other project profiled in the report was 100% funded through a state energy innovation grant program, and that added solar and battery storage and also electric heat pumps to a 6-unit subsidized WHPC-owned townhome Lakeview Village down by Lakeview Park. These projects were both conceived of during COVID, when it became clear how many residents live on the margins of affordability and eviction in our community. And while they often pay the highest utility prices because they live in older housing with inefficient HVAC systems. Many families decide between paying their utility bills or rent in the winter. And we learn that some people's bills in the winter are upwards of $400 to $600 per month. So it's a substantial burden for them. These projects began just as the Inflation Reduction Act federal funding was rolling out, and the Focus on Energy Homes and HERE programs from the IRA, which offer deep rebates for energy efficiency improvements, was not quite ready for launch. So we were sort of couched in between the IRA and the Focus on Energy, and nothing was really readily available at the moment. And therefore, these projects were funded through grants because much of this energy work is new and workforce development is still developing in Wisconsin for these new technologies. And also because of some of our state laws about metering multifamily units for solar has been really difficult to fund because of the metering laws. If you could move down to the next page, Brian, that'd be helpful. Okay. I'm just going to briefly talk about the process. The program was designed with local service providers and stakeholders like Way Forward and the Senior Center, also public health entities like the IPM Institute and Dane County Public Health. And they all helped us target areas based on area median income, housing type, and their own clients' needs. They're trusted entities in Middleton and organizations, so building owners and tenants trust these organizations already, and we're willing to talk with them about this program. These partners helped us create eligibility criteria and also to connect with the property owners. The criteria that we came up with required the tenants in these units to pay their own utilities. We did not choose to have owner-occupied units in this first round of funding, and the rents were required to already be under HUD fair market value and target areas in Middleton where neighborhoods where the area median income was 80% or below. The Navigator role is central to the Efficiency Navigator project, particularly because property owners face a lot of technical barriers to doing this work, and it's hard for them to come up with first costs and also the time and effort and knowledge to know how to navigate through multiple contractors and trades to do deep energy retrofits in their housing. Sustain Dane did the intake for the application process, and they spent a good amount of time vetting the property owners to make sure that they were willing to hold rents under that HUD for market value for at least 5 years, and to make sure that they had some buy-in to the project itself and that they understood what the benefits would be to that. Elevate served as a navigator to help them through this process, the property owners, and it started with a free home energy assessment. 2 side quests, which really became central to the work through these 3 years, is integration with workforce development and public health strategies. This type of comprehensive energy work is new to contractors, and many contractors still think heat pumps don't work in Wisconsin because of the cold weather, and complicated systems like battery storage, connecting that with solar, and having all electric systems in buildings is still new for the workforce. So we wanted to work with them and also to add in public health, primarily focusing on indoor air quality, reducing asthma through pest allergens. We found in some of the units gas leaks that were serious, mold issues that we came across when we were looking into insulation sealing. So we were ready for that, and we had funding to help with those issues. And it became very clear to us that you can integrate energy work with public health work at the same time, and that they actually provide a lot of co-benefits, and the cost crosses over as well for both of these to save money doing this work together. Okay, you could go to the next page. I'm not going to go through all the stats of the case studies. You can look at those yourself, but I will just say in summary, what we found was that we had a very wide range of savings from fairly little, maybe $164 a month or even over several months, to $1,200 or more per year when you combine renewable energy with all electric heat pumps. We did learn that there's hard decisions to make, and every building is a puzzle, and you can't make blanket programs that fit every house. And for an example of that, we found that if you just put electric heat pumps in with no solar, it can drive up the electric cost for tenants. And that's not what our aim was in this project. So there were times when we could have done all electric, but we chose a dual fuel heat pump. And there were times when we were able to electrify more, but add solar. And that's when you really see the deep cost savings for tenants. But it can be more expensive. So you need to then look for incentives and programs through Focus on Energy programs or the IRA. Okay, now page 6. I think one more on. Thank you. The Lakeview project is a separate project from the Efficiency Navigator project, but it's still working in affordable housing. It's a subsidized housing townhome down by Lakeview Park. And this was an exciting project because we were able to add a lot of solar to these townhomes via a canopy and also add batteries to each of those 6 units for resiliency. If their power goes out, they will be almost indefinitely able to run their electricity in their dwellings from the solar alone and from the battery backup for that. And the solar will offset 75% of the tenant's electricity bill. It was a complex project, and when we started it, the laws were such in Wisconsin where they still required each separate unit to have its own separate solar system, its own separate battery, its own separate electrical panel. And that has since changed as recently as December. So when you're talking to multifamily developers, that is a huge stride that's been made in allowing one solar system to be put on a multifamily units and help out all the tenants in that building. That's a new development. So the lessons learned, I would say, to end is that I realize it isn't feasible to cover 100% costs for these types of energy strategies as we move forward into developing a program for our affordable housing fund from the TID closure. But we do have some new tools and good experience now to ward off some mistakes. And I think we can do it more cheaply. But I really want to emphasize that we'll need to spend some time understanding how to stack financial incentives, loan programs, grants, Focus on Energy, Homes and Here program money in order to not draw down that affordable housing fund. I realize that that's not our aim with that fund. The new metering rules will help with economies of scale. We'll need to spend some time tweaking eligibility criteria and stacking the loan programs and affordable housing funds so we don't draw down the main fund. And I highly advise that we involve trusted community partners early in the engagement to tweak this program or set it up for the way we want it, maybe by adding single-family homes, maybe looking at not such a deep retrofit, but more weatherization-based affordable housing funds. These are things we'll need to decide, but I think we should decide them with property owners and with groups like Way Forward Resources in the Senior Center so we know what clients and residents really need. And lastly, I'll just say it's always going to be cheaper and more efficient to build more efficiently to begin with. And I know it's hard to look at what's considered first cost for that or the cost of building more efficient buildings. But after working on this, you really see how it's so expensive and very difficult to retrofit older buildings. We need to do it because we need to preserve our affordable housing, but also any opportunity we have to build a very efficient building from the first place is going to save tenants operating costs every single month from the very beginning. So just think about a reframe when you're thinking about the finances. And instead of just simply looking at an ROI, think about what operating costs, how the benefits of lower operating costs from month 1 for those tenants and building owners. So thanks for your time on that. And I know there may be questions or people wanting more statistics on this, and I have all that. Just reach out to me.
Thank you so much. And I'm sure she'll get lots of emails, so it's not, I will send you some myself. Thank you. Up next is the proclamations. The first one is the proclamation celebrating March as Women's History Month. Whereas Women's History Month is a time to honor and celebrate the achievements, contributions, and resilience of women throughout history and in contemporary society. And whereas Women's History Month provides an opportunity to recognize the diverse roles women have played and continue to play in shaping our communities, advancing social progress, and driving positive change. And whereas Women's History Month encourages us to acknowledge the barriers and challenges that women have overcome and continue to face, while also promoting gender equality and empowering women and girls to pursue their aspirations and dreams. And whereas Middleton is proud to celebrate the countless women who have made significant contributions to our city, our nation, and the world in various fields, including but not limited to education, science, business, politics, arts, sports, and community service. And whereas Middleton acknowledges the importance of fostering an inclusive and equitable society where every individual, regardless of gender, has the opportunity to thrive and succeed. Now therefore, I, Emily Kuhn, Mayor of the City of Middleton, and the Middleton City Council do hereby proclaim March 2026 as Women's History Month in Middleton, and call upon all residents to join in recognizing and celebrating the achievements and contributions of women, both past and present, and to work towards a future of equality, justice, and opportunity for all. This proclamation was adopted at a regular meeting of the Middleton Common Council on the third day of March 2026. Is there a motion?
Schaefer moves.
Is there a second?
Mormon seconds.
Any comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the proclamation celebrating March as Women's History Month, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to the second proclamation. Proclamation recognizing and honoring Sofra Family Bistro for 35 years of service to the Middleton community.
Pleasure to read this, as I now know I've lived in Middleton for 37 years. Whereas Sofra Family Bistro has been a cherished part of the Middleton community since its founding in 1991 as the Bavaria Family Restaurant, and through its evolution into Sofra Family Bistro, has provided residents and visitors with welcoming hospitality, authentic Albanian American cuisine, and a place to gather and connect. And whereas owned and operated by the Lumani family, Sofra, meaning family table, embodied the independent family-owned spirit that defines downtown Middleton, contributing to a vibrant local business community and strengthening the unique character and fabric of the Good Neighbors City. And whereas the Lumani family created more than a restaurant, they created a welcoming environment defined by warmth, generosity, and personal connection, offering comfort, celebration, and care in life's moments, both joyful and difficult. And whereas Sofra Family Bistro became known not only for its distinctive Albanian specialties and beloved dishes, such as Albanian sausage, ivar, crepes, skillets, and traditional soups, but also for the extraordinary care shown to its guests, the kind of place where owners would personally call customers to let them know their favorite dish was being served. And whereas hundreds of Middleton families have watched their children grow from booster seats to teenagers in Sofra's booths, gathering with friends, celebrating milestones, conducting business, and finding comfort and connection around the family table. And whereas for more than 3 decades, Sofra Family Bistro stood as a pillar of downtown Middleton, its bright awning, colorful planters, and welcoming doors served as a daily reminder of the pride, dedication, and entrepreneurial spirit of family-owned businesses that make Middleton special. And whereas after more than 35 years of heartfelt service, the Lumani family has made the difficult decision to close this chapter, leaving behind a lasting legacy of hospitality, community, and cherished memories that will live on in the hearts of Middleton residents. Now therefore, Emily Kuhn, Mayor of the City of Middleton, and the Middleton City Council do hereby recognize and honor the Lumani family for their 35 years of passion and dedication to this community. This proclamation was adopted at a regular meeting of the Middleton Common Council on the third day of March, 2026.
Is there a motion?
I move.
I'd like a second.
Any comments? Alder Lerman?
Yeah, also just passing on, complimenting the family and their family business. Friends and family in the area have had youth that have worked at the restaurant in capacity of wait staff, hosting staff, busing staff. And all they had was a positive experience, and think of the opportunity that was provided to these young people to have a job and work for a family and work in a family environment where they truly felt like family. So thank you very much.
Because I see the families here and being one of those patrons whose children literally did go from booster seats and coloring books to young adulthood. I just want to say thanks. Thanks for all the great meals and the memories and the coffee and all of that, all this stuff that I got to share with my kids. Thank you very much.
Alder Myers?
I also wanted to say thank you. Your restaurant, when my wife Eva and I were looking for a home and looking for a community that we wanted to be a part of, we ate at your restaurant, and you were a non-zero part of why we chose Middleton. We wanted to be part of a community that had a place like that. So thank you.
Very lovely. All those in favor of approving the proclamation recognizing and honoring the Sofer Family Bistro, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. I want to make sure, is Alder Nelson still on there? Okay, cool, thanks. I'm going to ask the family to come to the front. If others would like to join, because so many of you are joining.
Katie does that too.
I've also had, we've all
All right.
had, we've all had.
I'm gonna ask Alder Gorman since he was talking about the people who work.
What was your?
Yeah.
Okay. We good? Thank you.
Michigan. Thank you. Thank you.
Moving on to the consent agenda, is there a motion?
Yes, on behalf of Finance and Personnel, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second?
Nairo seconds.
Any comments? Hearing none, my apologies, Alder Myers.
Just one. For all of my colleagues, thank you for voting for the task order for well number 7 in the water utility. I strongly encourage all of you, when you have a chance, to look at the presentation on the water utilities future that the Public Works Committee had during our last scheduled meeting. It will help you understand why this and future expenditures within the utility are necessary for the city.
Very good. Thank you for that. Any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to ordinances, second reading. The first ordinance to create, the first one, ordinance to create section 6.10 to establish age restrictions on hemp-derived THC products. Is there a motion?
This is Madden on behalf of the LNO Committee. I move approval of the ordinance to create section 6.10.
Myers, second.
Any comments?
Just for the session, when this was last back for the first reading, I just wanted everyone to see it. There was a suggestion by Alderman Crowe to include some language grandfathering when you had the situation of an existing business and then a youth oriented, I think it's the term we're using, business, youth serving business comes in to create some grandfathering language. And so what's in the packet has some red line, which is added to what was there before. So I think the, we should clarify the motion of whether or not the motion to approve includes or excludes that language.
Okay. So then you would need a substitute motion to include, okay, then I will make a substitute motion to include the version that is in the packet with the language regarding grandfather.
I will second the substitute.
And Brian, do we need a vote on the substitute motion?
So if approved, the substitute motion would become the motion that's passed.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any comments on that motion? Hearing none. All those in favor? It's the substitute motion that's included in the packet?
Yes.
Okay, great. Ordinance to create section 6.10 to establish age restrictions on hemp-derived THC products with the language included in the packet. Please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to ordinance to revise and,
Madam
Oh.
Chair, that was the vote to substitute the motion for the main motion.
So that precludes the other.
Oh.
motion.
I was like, thought I finally got that one. I was trying to clarify, might have messed you up. My apologies. All right, so moving on to the ordinance to revise and replace chapter 33 lighting ordinance.
This is an IRO. I move approval of the ordinance to revise and replace chapter 33 lighting ordinance.
Ormond, second.
Any comments? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving the ordinance to revise and replace chapter 33 lighting ordinance, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to resolutions, resolution 2026-04 in support of World Migratory Bird Day. Is there a motion?
Ormond will make that motion.
Favorable second.
Any comments? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving resolution 2026-04, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to resolution 2026-05, authorizing resolution to apply for Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources Stewardship and Recreational Trails Program grant funding for construction of the Pheasant Branch Conservancy Trailhead Facility. Is there a motion?
Ormond will make that motion.
Myers will second.
Any comments? Hearing none. All those in favor of approving resolution 2026-05, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Moving on to discussion, updates on committees, commissions, and boards. Any hot topics? Upcoming projects? I know this is about the time our president of the council would tell us all the community events that are being scheduled. So keep an eye on that on her behalf, because there's usually posters being printed in the spring for summer events. Anybody else? Nope. Yes, Alder Myers.
Yep, so the License and Ordinance Committee, and Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it, based on our conversation ahead of it, we will be ready to discuss the non-discrimination ordinance at our March meeting.
I anticipate that to be true, yes.
So if you are an interested party, please attend that meeting. Our chair, Alder Madden, I'm sure will make sure that your voice is heard. And just, again, I encourage my colleagues here on City Council to go through and watch the last 80 or 90 minutes of our Public Works Committee meeting if you want to understand in a very broad sense what's going on at the water utility and the future capital outlays that will be necessary to continue to provide safe water service for the city of Middleton, as well as the flowage necessary for fire prevention. And I'd like to thank the Plan Commission for adopting a one-year moratorium on data centers while we evaluate that. The utility, based on that presentation, I don't think actually has the flowage to support a data center at present, in addition to our other water demands. So, thank you, Plan Commission.
Great highlights, much appreciated. With that, I'm gonna go ahead, does anyone else have, sorry, I should double check. All right, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and adjourn. Everyone have a great night.